Yeah, let's look at this roster in full. Now that we know. So here we go. Tekken 8 roster. Granted, a 32 character roster in the launch of any fighting game is an absolute blessing. You know, to give this game the credit it's due, despite, you know, netcode issues or heat issues, if you guys have problems with the game mechanics, I understand completely. It's a different game. The roster's wild. They're definitely sharing some things from the previous game, right? It's obvious it's a new engine, so they're having to fix a ton of stuff on a lot of characters. And yeah, visually the characters look way better. You have to directly put it 1-to-1 to Tekken 7, because you look at it and you're like, oh, it looks just like Tekken 7. But that's the same way that people say, like, oh, this game looks like a PS2 game. And I'm like, dude, you have not seen a PS2 game actually in front of your face in a very long time if you think that. It's the same where clearly you put side-by-side Tekken 7 to Tekken 8. There's a massive visual upgrade. And they do look a lot better. Unless you're Steve. Unless you're this poor bastard down here. This guy got lip filler all over his face for some reason. That's good, right? Already that's an expensive part of the game where every single character is getting completely new models and we can't just carry shit over from Tekken 6 to Tag 2 to Tekken 7, right? So that doesn't work. Thinking about who's not here. Who isn't here of mainstay Tekkens? So clearly Eddie is not here, right? No Eddie, no Marduk, no Lei. Damn, is Lei Wulong again gonna be DLC? No Julia? No Anna Williams. Bob is gone. Heihachi's obviously gone, but we know why. Armor King is gone. No Lucky Chloe. No Miguel. Ganryu. Shocking that Ganryu's, you know, not immediately around. No Baek Tusong. I think this is his last name. No Gigas. I'm not surprised there's no Gigas. No Josie. None of the bosses. No Ogre. No True Ogre. No Christy. No Eliza. No Mokujin, but, you know, no Kazumi. Kazumi's gone. I don't think her moveset got flipped around or stuck into anybody else. Kunamitsu's gone, potentially stuck into Victor. Bruce is still gone. Michelle's still gone. Fakuram is gone. Lydia, I thought, might have a pretty good chance at the last spot, but no. Lydia's not coming back. Forest Law, yeah. I mean, yeah. Wang still missing in action. Not surprised, though. Kind of not surprised. No Roger. No Alex. No Katarina. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's a healthy roster, but there's still no Jinpachi. There's a lot of characters that are missing. Holy shit, man. Master Raven. Yeah, that's true. It seems like with Raven and now also Victor, maybe Master Raven is not. They already went one level above Master Raven, technically. If we were talking about like hierarchy in the Ravens. Everyone says Gon. Everybody says the little dinosaur because he's a meme. I swear to God. Chat, I don't think Gon is coming back. I don't know about that. It's a licensing nightmare. I'm sorry. There's a bit, you know? So you also have to consider no Geese, no Noctis, no Akuma, no Negan, no guest characters, right? No guest characters yet. I'm almost curious. Are we going to be presented with Season 1 DLC of Tekken 8, likely, or at least a reveal of something DLC-wise, is likely going to happen at the Tekken World Tour Finals? Because how many other things do they have to show? Well, everything's already been revealed, right? Everything's been revealed. There's either going to be some big announcement of what their guest character first DLCs are going to be at some big event. TWT is very likely. Game Awards is, I guess, pretty likely, but that seems kind of soon. It's like less than a month away. And who the hell that guest is going to be, you know, how much of that Season 1 DLC is going to be guests? I'm going to make a wild assumption that they might be going ham on this shit. They might be doing a similar to Mortal Kombat, where Mortal Kombat has no guests by default, right? But they fill out like a decent chunk of their DLC season with guest characters. So I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think they're gonna go like six characters. 3 of them are just random Joe Schmoes, like fucking Tom Hanks and shit like that. I think it's probably going to be 1 or 2, and I think that's pretty safe. Even if it was like a 4-character DLC season, I think a couple is pretty good considering how much guest characters did good for the previous Tekken. And then when we eventually get that announcement, you know, that's where you show that shit off is either at a TWT or a Game Awards. And I think TWT is a pretty good chance. Who the guest should be? Well, I think we all have our opinions. right? We all have our opinions of who the hell should show up in some way. But there's still quite a bit of very evergreen guest characters that have not been utilized yet in a majority of fighting games that they definitely could. I think an obvious one over time, maybe not at the start, because I don't think this guest character has as much appeal as others. I 100% think that Tekken 8's getting a Virtua Fighter character at some point. I think it's going to go the same route as like a DOA and get a VF representative. I think so. I don't think that's going to happen early on. I think it might take some time. But I think that relationship, Virtua Fighter coming back in some way and maybe in the future also coming back, I think that's a pretty good bet that Akira might make his way into the game. And even Akira might take the spot of, you know, a Lydia or something like that, just because of their very similar playstyles. You know, I would just love to see that. I think Akira would be a great fucking addition to this game, but they would probably wait, you know? That would most likely... Tekken wants Virtua Fighter to be successful. Virtua Fighter wants Tekken to be successful. They have a relationship together, right? When Japanese fighting games, even 3D fighting games, do well, they all do better. So maybe that's like a year out, right? That's like a year after the game if a new VF is showing up way down the line. You know, maybe, just maybe, that's a possibility. But outside of that, man, there's a billion other ones, dude. There's like Kiryu from Sega. There's obviously Final Fantasy representatives. You know, I want Tifa. Obviously, I want Tifa. Clive showing up at some point would make also a lot of sense because of Final Fantasy main protagonist Final Fantasy character showing up in some way. There's just a lot that they can choose from, man. There's so much. And then they can go to like, you know, anime, they can go to live action, they can go to, you know, weird shit like Negan was. There's just so much to pull from that hasn't been used in Tekken as of yet. Overall, I think this is a really solid roster. Just saying from a personal level, yeah, for me, yeah, now, right? Before, Jin has made me like not like Tekken very much because of all the skill gap the bitch has. I'm curious how Devil Jin actually plays. I'm just curious how wild they're gonna go with him. Abso-fucking-lutely, and pretty goddamn curious. I think of all like the female Tekken characters, like the badass females, Nina pretty much is like, you know, a super tropey, like hyper spy, like, you know, Black Widow sort of character that definitely has been around for a very long time, and she's cool, but she's like an OG sort of spy character, right? That's like, okay, I don't know if it's like that legacy, that sort of tropey kind of like character is what will do it for me in terms of badass female characters. I think she's getting kind of close. It really depends on how she plays. So I'm pretty curious if we eventually get some hands-on with her. I want to see how Reina actually controls and how she feels, because considering she's new, she's probably going to be super effing good, man. And I think, again, there was only 3, right? Only 3 brand new characters. They were kind of reserved here, right? They were relatively reserved in brand new roster members, considering how many new characters were in Tekken 7. Like, there was a lot, dude. Like, they put... Hold on a second. Here was T7's vanilla roster. So, new. Yeah. Oh, it wasn't that much. But here's the thing comparatively. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Only 20 characters. And 4 of those characters were brand new. Right? 4 new characters at launch, but the roster was hella small. This is not the same roster that was available in the console release, chat. This was the very first Tekken arcade roster, right? When the game was first playable, which counts, right? Some people don't think that counts because, you know, the console version technically counts. No, bullshit, dude. Bullshit. This is a lot, right? This is, by comparison, a huge difference between a 32 character roster. This is arcade, which is first playable. Comparatively, early Tekken 7 had a lot of problems, and the game essentially went through massive changes until it eventually came out. All things considered, this is probably one of the healthiest Tekken rosters at the start of all of them, of like any of them. And to think where this is eventually going to go, even if you have 4 character DLC seasons, 5 character, 6 character DLC seasons, this is going to be, what is the craziest Tekken roster there is? I don't think Tekken 7's has beaten Tekken Tag 2. I think Tag 2 still gets the craziest roster, at least at the start, right? Look at this wild and shit. Does this have the DLC? Who was DLC in Tag 2? I'm trying to remember. I think it was up. I think these were DLC. Yeah, I think Angel technically was DLC. Forest Law was DLC in this one? Huh, the top row entirely. Oh, Slim Bob was definitely DLC. Okay. This is still the craziest shit of all of them, right? 59 something 60 ass characters. Easily the wildest it ever got. And it goes to show, was there anything missing from this? Because they have now added, goddamn, how many more new characters? Like, I think there's been a total of 10 characters, if you include Tekken 8, brand new roster members since this, you know? Since Tag 2's ridiculous near 60 character friggin' roster. Absolutely fucking wild. Was there 2 versions of Jack in this? Was there Jack and Gun Jack? Oh shit, he's up here. You're right. Holy shit, or is P Jack in this one? That's what it's called. And I think what's doing it for me as far as Tekken 8's roster is that I already have more than just one character that I want to play as, which is very nice. Who do you think is going to be the noob killer? Oh God. Who's going to be the noob killer? Who's the scrub killer of Tekken 8? She's right here. At the moment, pre-Harada mentioning what happened earlier, the Coffee Queen 100% is the biggest scrub killer of the game. And she's not a scrub killer where she's only going to kill people that are uneducated about Tekken. No, she's just crazy good, dude. She's ridiculously good. She's like Launch Leroy shit as of right now. Hwoarang is also up there. Yeah. That's a good one. If you want to get easy wins early in Tekken, right? If you want to get early, easy wins in Tekken 8, you pick Hwoarang. He's fucking wild. But he always is like that. He's absolutely the character that will wipe the goddamn floor with you. Jin is really good, but still, like, you have to do so much less with potentially this guy to actually get wins and shit. Xiao Yu is good, but not easy. She's not a scrub killer. You got to work your butt off. Yeah. Yeah, a scrub killer is like you can jump in and do relatively little and get very good results pretty fast. That kind of is that character in some way. To me right now, that's Hwoarang or Coffee Chick. Paul is also up there. If you're so the question is for you guys, you're just starting Tekken 8, right? You maybe have a character crisis. You don't know which character you want to play. Which character do you play? I recommend Paul for sure. I recommend Paul. Kazuya, no. I do not recommend Kazuya. I do not recommend Jin. I do not recommend any of these Mishima bitches. They maybe look cool, and if you want to commit yourself, go ahead, man. If you want an easy, like, oh, I want a cool dude that might be easy to start with, that's Paul. If you want a cool chick that might be easy to start with, that's probably Asuka, right? Probably Asuka. Pretty easy to start with. What about June? I don't know. I've fought against plenty of Junes. Lily is also pretty easy to use, right? Very effective ass character, hard to figure out. Backstance bullshit, all this stuff. Law, I don't know. I don't know if I'd recommend Law more than Paul if you're just starting, right? If you are just starting. Is the Panda good to start with? No. No, don't do that to yourself. No. No, don't do that. Which are the hardest to master? Hardest to master? Probably like this fucking guy. I don't know, man. If you want to talk about like Mishima's might be the hardest to master technically. If you want to be real, potentially Yoshi. But if you're talking about master to reward of mastery, you know, Yoshi and Raven got some pretty difficult shit that you got to figure out. And you're not going to get rewarded for it very hard. At least on Yoshi front, he's kind of the troll of the game, right? He's definitely kind of the troll character of Tekken in several ways. But Raven's got a lot of new shit, so he might actually be significantly easier to play than he was before. Raven was always intimidating back in Tekken 5. He was like, what the fuck do you even do with this guy? Holy shit. Another good question. The new characters look good. Should I start with them? Yes. And I can say almost without a shadow of a doubt, the new characters will likely have abridged move lists that are not as massive as legacy characters. So if you're looking for more of a straightforward game plan and you're looking for a character that might be easier to jump into and just maybe get some shit done and not everybody knows how to fight against them, yes, newer characters in Tekken most likely will be easier to just jump into. Right, and just play a bit. That was the case with several of them in Tekken 7 as they were added over time. Reina looks like she's going to be crazy fun. She looks like she's going to be really good. Victor obviously has touch of Noctis all over the place. He looks maybe relatively linear on some attacks, but, you know, he's incredibly fucking cool looking. Claudio is from T7, might be a bit easier to play as well. There's just so much more stuff that is in Tekken 8, and we have not even seen the entirety of it. There are still 2 months of promotion and marketing leading up to when this game eventually comes out, and potentially what's going to be included in that first DLC season. It's kind of exciting. It's kind of crazy to see that Tekken, Mortal Kombat, and at least Street Fighter are mostly firing on all cylinders between, you know, obviously Tekken and Street Fighter definitely did. Mortal Kombat's catching up. And to a launch of a game that clearly was not supposed to come out as early as it did, MK is still a very fun game that is getting there, and I think is going to get there and become really good. And be something that a lot of people are looking forward to playing, even on a casual level, right? Because casuals have a lot of complaints about MK1. So that's nice. Like, in a situation that I'm in, seeing this roster and seeing all the things that are going to be happening in the near future for all of these games, and Street Fighter still has barely done anything in 6 months, man, right? Street Fighter, we're just still waiting for them to do shit outside of just characters. I'm very much happy that all these games are crazy fun, and all of them are, you know, drastically different than what they were setting up before. I think I'd probably give Tekken 8's launch roster probably an 8. You know, if we're gonna rate this ass roster, rate it good, I still definitely feel this roster missing the really eye-catching and like grab your eyeballs and not let you go element that Akuma had. And he was like a front cover sort of character that would really grab your attention. Tekken 7, by the time it came out on console, was like a 9 because of that reason. And the new characters are definitely really good here, but something about it is like it more seems like a reunion. This is like a Tekken reunion roster at the start, instead of it being like, we're gonna blast your ass with some crazy shit at the beginning. Not as much.